I didn't realize how many bike lanes and actually, I didn't even know we had a bike route until we started riding. When we started UCG, there were places I've lived in Richmond all my life I've never seen until I got on that bike. Riding on Riverside, just seeing that area at that point past you. I'm like, this always been here? Going on vacation, I would see people with all these bikes on the back of their cars. I'm like, what are they doing? Why? So why you going on vacation? We'll take a bike. Now I'm that guy. A guy hit us up, said, hey, let's go ride. It was this thing called the Capitol Trail. And I was like, okay. We grabbed the mountain bikes, rode 20 miles, and I was like, all right, cool. Looked at my watch. I said, man, I burned 1,000 calories. I said, I can do this again. Urban Cycling Group came out of a text message. Once we started riding, it was like, well, we post about it. We try to get people to come with us. So we had created a text message group, and just joking around, we called it Urban Cycling Group. And so we just had a group text that we was sending people like, hey, y'all want to come ride? We're gonna hit the trail at so-and-so date, time. And then that's kind of where it started from. We started using social media, posting about it, posting about our experience, good or bad, fun, making fun of ourselves. And from there, more people, of course, during the pandemic, was in the same situation, couldn't get out. And so it grew, and it grew quick. And we had our first kind of semi official ride Memorial Day weekend of 2020, and we had about 30 people that came out. And then we did another ride, more people came out, and then not too long after that, things kind of started turning for the worse, where there was a lot of injustice stuff going on. And so we said, hey man, let's do a ride, to show our solidarity, our support for the things that were going on at the time, George Floyd, etc. So we did a ride from John Marshall High School, and the crowd turned out, it was crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we did another one with Trey Songz for, bring awareness as well. And that one was probably, I don't know, I couldn't even count the amount of people that showed up for that one.
People that don't even ride bikes.
Yeah, we had all kind of bikes, from BMXs to beach cruisers, road bikes, mountain bikes, electric bikes.
Helmets, no helmets.
Yeah, people just brought anything, bikes that had rust on the chains. They just came out, and it was a great event. And from there, we just kept it going, kept the momentum going. Leaning on, the group, other people that came in, such as Carlos, Adrian, and some others to kind of continue to help this thing grow. I didn't know how big cycling was in Richmond and how many people did cycle. When we started up, it was guys that I would see at the gym, work with, etc. They're like, yeah, I've been cycling. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. I never knew.
Of course, our group is a pandemic group. We call it
Pandemic Riders.
Pandemic Riders. Nothing was open. The gyms was closed. I was going through a lot in my life with my businesses and stuff, so I needed an outlet. And cycling was that. This is how I do it was cool. When you out on that trail, random people would stop and be like, you good? You know what I'm saying? You need a tube, you straight? Anybody. That's how we can be anywhere in Charles City, all the way down the trail, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you feel like you disconnect when you on your bike and out here riding in the country, but you still got some type of connection with the people on the trail. Like, you never alone, Charles. Right. Yeah.
They started at John Marshall High School in the city's north side before riding out to the Lee Monument for photos and then back around to the high school. Our urban cycling group put the ride together, and they say with everything going on in the world, the ride was a form of protest, therapy, and exercise. Hundreds of people hopped on two wheels to ride together in support of Black Lives Matter.
We want people to see that we are basically riding for a cause, in unity, in love, and in support. And we just want people to not forget that Breonna Taylor's untimely death has not been resolved. There's no justice, and we don't want people to forget that.
Funny thing was, starting off, I don't think there were many difficulties. It's like you said, it happened so organically. It was like us trying to keep up with it, trying to keep up with the momentum. I think it's a little harder now that things are somewhat back to normal. People's jobs are now taking them back into the office. Kids are now having them back involved in sports, extracurricular activities. People are taking vacations. People are spending more quality time, maybe, not in the area or so forth. People are starting new ventures, businesses, etc. So people are more busy or back to normal versus when the pandemic was. So now it's how do we keep people engaged? How do we, have people progress for those who want to progress to maybe a little more advanced ride? And then how do we stay front? I think a lot of people like the New York one because that was our real out-of-state type of event.
Correct.
And so you meet different people and they got the same story.
The same story, pandemic riders, a bunch of black people got together, mongooses, and then they just slowly grow. They ain't had no helmets, they won't wear no kits and all that. Now they looking good, they matching kits. It's just it's a whole 2,000 miles away from here, going through the same exact thing that we were doing with the Breonna Taylor rides, not even knowing. These people doing it at the same time, it's crazy. And let you know, black people.
We creative now.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Where we at?
To get into cycling, it is an expensive sport.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain to somebody, hey man, you're gonna pay about $2,000. But what, man? Bike just cost $300.
Scariest thing they say is, I got a nice bike. You be like, what kind of bike you got, bro? They see that picture, you be like, oh man, you
Like, why you even call me?
And then they bring that bike out to the ride, and reality kick in.
Yeah.
I'm a cyclist, but I think it's not because of the cycling level. I think it's about the education of cycling. Not because I'm in shape. I do look good. But the community is more educated. Because now where people like, oh, where you ride at? 2 years ago, people like,
What you got on?
what you got on? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You was running track.
Yeah. Because especially in the East End, I grew up in the East End, so people out here don't know nothing about cycling. Being a cyclist is not a look. It's a mindset. Because I feel like people of all levels can become cyclists. It's just based on your knowledge of what you're doing.
One thing about some people in UCG, man, we gonna look good on the bike though. You gonna have a fresh kit, we gonna have the fresh, the rapper joints, whatever's coming out. We gonna look sweet because, that's kind of like our personality. A lot of us are sneakerheads. Even when we designed this recent jerseys for this year, we was coming at it from the culture kind of aspect of like, all right, let's take a tennis shoe and just kind of see how we can make that look like the daggone kits.
We got guys who got the Rafa kits on, you know what I'm saying, the helmets, all that looking good, but they're not cyclists. And then you got guys that'll come up here with their jean shorts on, I ain't gonna name no names, but they can ride their tail off, and they are cyclists. I guess once you get involved in anything, like, AAU sports, you start traveling and soccer and all that stuff. So I guess cycling is no different, right? So we started our neighborhood parks, and then Atlanta, New York, DC, Virginia Beach, you know what I'm saying? It kind of just grows and grows and grows. And so it's great. I can't even describe how I went from riding 5-mile rides to 125, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
3 times a week.
it just became that addictive, but it makes it that much easier to grow something once you show a passion for it. And what UCG does better than most people, you make it look fun. And so that's why I think we grew to what we did. We working out, but we having a good time too. So you know what I'm saying? We cycle, but they ain't turning down no brunch either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,